We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
How much longer can you hide? You can try and push away from me. You kick and scream, you're begging, please. But once you get a little taste of freedom, you wanna get up off your knees. Come over, don't fight how you really feel. Come closer to me. I'll give you something to believe in. Come over, don't fight how you really feel. Come closer, please.
Hello and welcome back to Windmill 2023, second round of the Women and Open Game. You have the Open Game available also on ULTI.TV for Hardfish against Alba. Here we have La Séptima against Austria Women. I am Charlotte Terrason here today for you, joined with the lovely Christina Obermeier, to give you the best show possible with ULTI.TV for this second round of the Women Games. So we have La Séptima from Colombia, who made all the trip to Amsterdam, Europe, for you to give you the best show possible. Séptima, who won their first game on this first round 15-11 against Electroclit, and Austria Women, who also won their first game 13-11 against SYC from Great Britain. Now both teams winning their first game. Let's see which one will win their second one. Austria firing up the players, getting ready to get some scores against our lovely Colombian girls.
Yeah, both teams still in preparation here. Austria running some kind of a fun defense drill. And
fight for the disc drill.
Yeah, they're doing it really well. And what a play by Ninaus to start. Okay, I don't think, you can see it actually. So I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm going to be biased. This is Austria. I am Austrian. Christina.
I was about
joined by Charlotte Terrazzone. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be as objective as I can be, and I will just highlight Ultimate. Of course, I know much more about the individuals from the Austrian side.
I was about to say that. Lovely to have you here to give us all the fun facts and interesting stories about Austrians.
Oh yeah, all the tea. Play not all of it, since some secrets have to be kept a secret.
Oh, come on. It will be kept between us.
Yeah,
No one
us,
else. No one.
the world, YouTube, and no one else but that.
As if no one was listening.
Oh, no one is.
Just
No.
feel comfortable.
That's always the
share.
feeling. Nobody's listening. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And we get an extended stream here, courtesy of our ULTI.TV camera crew. Seems like teams are prepping to start the game.
Game starting in few minutes. Actually, it should be starting less than a minute.
Right, this minute? It should be starting?
11:40.
11:40, and it is 11:40. So hello and welcome to everyone joining us. Please interact in the chat. I know Charlotte and I will have a great time. Our time will be even better if you talk with us, if we have you here. And of course, we're here to give you the best coverage possible.
So if you want a summary of the results from the first round, Poland women won against Frisbee Bears women 15-5, La Séptima 15-11 against Electrocleats. Belgium women 14-9 against Spice Ultimate. Germany women 15-4 against Ireland women. Mermaid Lumberjacks against Iceni 12-12. That is weird. Maybe the score is not updated because finishing a game 12-12 is
works in the
not
Swiss draw
normal.
because,
It does.
quick reminder, the Swiss draw format is not about winning games at all. It's winning with a biggest possible margin. So ties are possible, which just means your team is as good as your opponent.
Makes
Fine.
sense.
Makes sense. The algorithm loves it and assigns you to another person, another team that is also just as good, presumably.
And for the rest of the games, Austria women 13-11 SICK, Seagulls Hamburg 14-12 3SB, Switzerland women 15-5 Jinx, Czech Republic women 15-10 Spain women, France women 13-7 Bristol women.
And
Here
we
you
are
go.
live. Austria on offense. Breczko to Knieli, who is super open. Gets it back to Breczko, and she's looking for a deep cut and gets a continuation for Séptima. She puts it up for Ninaus, and Swaggy gets the first score, and that's an easy one for Austria.
Easy start for Austria, putting on the work, making their offense work, and just score what needs to be scored. Séptima not really fired for now. Maybe they just need to push the button on.
Yeah, it seemed like Austria really took advantage of the early opportunity they got. It's crucial to start as fiery as you will be the rest of the game as well. And La Séptima will get into the groove, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure they had a bit of a longer travel than Austria had. So them just getting into the feel of it all. That's just what we're seeing here, I presume.
Hopefully for them, they came here, arrived a few days ago for a jet lag, because otherwise playing a 3-day tournament as Windmill, this is savage. I mean, Open and Women Division have 4 games to play today. 4 games of 75 minutes. This is a lot and intense level.
Indeed, it is. La Séptima now starting. And that is a miscommunication. Bodensteiner to Kanzmeier. Back to Bodensteiner. Looks for an option. Nice reset space and works it to Zenz. And getting every other now and putting it out into space and into the end zone for a break. 2-0.
Nice and steady offense from Austria. They got an opportunity. They didn't rush it. They had their pace, but not rushing things. They knew how to play it. They did a really good, as I was saying, steady counter-attack offense with a nice inside to finish the point. Beautiful break. Austria starting 2-0 against La Séptima. We saw La Séptima not very fired up, as we were saying, on defense, but apparently also need to wake up for offense. Games are starting. It's the moment.
And they definitely will wake up, I'm sure of that. La Séptima play a bit of a different style to what the Austrian women are playing. Right? They're going with the give and goes, the quick movement of the disc, changing position and direction quickly, and if that works, you can't really stop it. But if you're not really sure 100% what you're doing, it can get a little difficult.
Yeah, and we are used to see Colombians playing that very quick game, as you're saying, Christina, moving the disc around quickly so that defense cannot set up at all, and just following their play is hard, but I cannot wait to see this, and we have a look at it now.
Yeah, they're off to the races. Bananas going and every other here. Lopez finds a reset and a disc into space just in front of the end zone now. Are they getting it to work? And they're running it around, and this time around they're in the end zone. And that's a score for Lopez to go 1-0.
Here's the first score for La Séptima. 2-1. Austria still leading, getting to start with the offense. But it was really nice to see how La Séptima can move the disc around, as we were saying. They had a unfortunate drop, errors, but now, as we were asking for, they're waking up and showing, hey, look at how Colombians play. That quick motion of the disc, we love to see that. And a nice score to put a number on that scoreboard.
Yeah, they finally woken up, as you said, and Austria will now work hard and try to stop those quick give and goes once they're on defense again. But now offensive possession for Austria. We'll see if it can be as clinical as the first two have been, resulting in direct points.
Oh, got a familiar face on the field. Number 4, Aura Sandoval from the Séptima, picking up the disc now. Actually, he's living in Slovenia, Slovakia, and tried out last year to play with Shout, starting a European season, but had to drop out because she was taking part of the Cincinnati Championship with a Colombian team, and big shot to the end zone.
And Panzi redeeming the Austrian era. Rottensteiner to Zatina, and on the near side is Knili.
Oh,
And nearly a run through D, but
so
collected well by Zatina. And Colombians come out in a zone look that is trying to stop the movement of the Austrian side. Kretschko working every other with Zatina.
nice that Séptima had time to put on a zone defense, even though they started on offense. Did they?
Austria is really showing that they can go. They can also do the give and goes. Neely and Zatina really working those break space now. Ninaus fakes the big hug, and we know she can put, I know, and you should know, she can put it deep at will. Big gainer and in and out of the hands of Pansy.
Austria again losing possession. Séptima with another chance for a break. But as we've seen before, Austria is going to fight for the discs and be there wherever the throw will get. And we have a pick on the field.
Yeah, quite an abundance of players around that disc. So Séptima will keep possession. Far side now.
Looking for the deep option, but Austria is there, covering everything.
Coaching really well. Off in that handler set.
Austria really managed to slow down this fast game of the Colombians as we were talking about, forcing them some passes that do not look like their typical game.
No, it really doesn't, but they're executing it so well. Another bump on the mark will stop the flow again. So it seems like there's quite a few Slovenian pickups on that La Séptima team.
There is.
Rošak. Remember her from playing on Cosmo Women. And that disc played with Cetina. Pansy now looks for an option. Finds Neely, and Neely puts it over the top to Brečko, and she flies, but that disc goes to ground. So the Séptima with the disc in their hands once again puts it up deep, and two bodies underneath it, and good positioning from the Colombians to put that disc in. Sandoval. Really in hospital here, and Cetina once again with the D puts it out to Vinta Tuzio. Rottenstein there to collect, and Brečko wants it. Neely puts it up deep for Vinta Tuzio. It's floating, but floating too far. Only hits the ground behind the back of the end zone.
Score still at 2-1 here. This point has been lasting a bit. It's surprising that teams haven't called the timeout yet, because the weather is pretty hot today, and I mean, it must be hard to play so many turns. I mean, such a long point.
Yeah, it's only round 2, but still. Take in your breaks when you need them, and it is a big put into the air.
Finally finding this opportunity for the Hawk.
Yeah, Austria have done well so far to stop the Hawks, but this time around it comes up well, and that is a bubble of a disc, but caught. And switching field possession now. Determined cutting when they are, and that's a great defense from Brečko, and making sure it's hers, and that's a timeout.
Here it is.
Yeah, very good call to stop, take a breather, and redo the whole thing with, you know, scoring a point. And while they're taking a breather, we are going to do that as well, and we'll be back with you in just a few seconds.
Yeah, we have a call at the
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Here we are back after this timeout. Austria with possession of the disc. Still 2-1 for Austria. This point has been lasting forever.
It has, and Austria have taken a well-deserved time out and now are back in the running.
We have already 26 passes on Séptima's side, 31 for Austria. A lot of passes, long point. And we'll be, oh, I saw that hug already flying.
I didn't. There was good coverage on Nina's, although she's a very speedy player and probably one of the people to watch for Austria. That coverage of the deep was there, and they know that it's dangerous. High disc goes up for Rottensteiner. She gets it with determination.
Nice fight from Colombian player. Getting in position, trying to defend, so close, big pressure. Maybe next one.
Pachko looks for an option, finds it in the end zone. Vinta Artuzio with the score for Austria, 3-1 in favor of the national team.
Don't forget that this is a preparation tournament for many national teams who are going to take part to the European Nation Championship this summer in about 30 days. It's pretty soon in Limerick. So Austrian women here preparing for this championship, as we have many other teams doing the same.
Yeah. We see some minor tucks and pieces added here in this heat of Amsterdam to make sure that once EUC comes, this team is firing and putting their all on the line to showcase what they can do.
I am super excited about Limerick EUC coming up. I don't know about you, but you better be, because there will also be live coverage of the whole championship by ULTI.TV. And while we're talking, big defense by Austrian, stepping up in front of the player, but apparently there is a foul called on the action. Makes sense, there was contact, but you never know. Uncontested foul, good communication.
Good spirit from Zenz to accept that foul call,
but that's the intensity you need to put on if you're on a national team.
It looks like Austria are playing some kind of pressure defense. It looks like an FM on the Austrian side, trying to keep that disc in the middle, compressed in the middle space, and forcing it where it came from. And that disc put up into the end zone. It seems like the receiver didn't even know it was coming up.
A bit too fast, maybe miscommunication between the offensive players, who had a good flow though. Fighting for the disc, as we saw the beautiful layout to save this run on the replay. Nice bid, but just a bit too enthusiastic, I guess. Losing the disc in their end zone. Austrian with their break opportunity now. A lot of people on this disc. Oh, a bit too high. I think that's not where she wanted the disc to go. A Colombian player, I don't see the number, but it was there. Defense for Colombia to retrieve their disc. Fernandez picking up the disc. Big fake for number 23, not on our roster.
Yeah, we're still sorting out numbers. Sorry if you were not named.
Garson to Mask Girl, we'll call her that. Fernandez to Lopez. Lopez in front of the zone for no, and just out of the hands of the player. There was a little gap. She used it, but
that gap too small, that disc too fast, too happy about the little piece she got there. And Zenz walks the disc up again. Miscommunication that puts the disc onto the sideline instead of in the hands of Paschinger.
So big pressure from both teams on defense, but also a lot of miscommunication on this point.
Yeah, there was on both sides, and that wind seems to not only influence the disc, but also the nerves as Scheidel
making sure no one touches this disc but her.
Smacking it to the ground is Katharina Scheidel. Kanzmeier to Hübel.
Oh, we got a pick on the field in the stack. I really like that defense. We often see these situations of tipped defenses, and you're so frustrating. And I guess she doesn't want to leave that ever again. If it won't happen to her, no way, letting no chance for this to keep flying.
Paschinger puts it up deep. Brandl underneath it. Off to the races, just around their end zone.
But peak again on the field?
Maybe on her, because she was so open in such crazy space. A beautiful shot.
Suspicious.
Suspiciously open, but a beautiful shot out of Paschinger. So, the disc will go back, players will go back, and we'll wait to see what happens. So, Austria looking for the hook and finding it just on the end zone line. Not able to jump it in yet is Hübel. Kanzmeier to Brandl, and that's a score for Austria. Well done, and they're up 4-1. So Austria really with a commanding lead, aren't they?
And another break for Austria women. Leading 4-1. These points are very long. I mean, this must be very tiring for the players. And as I'm talking, they're running off the field, jumping around, happy, full of energy. So never mind, they do have a lot of energy to spare.
With a performance like that, they should be happy. Of course, we are playing Swiss draw. I already mentioned it, but talking about happy players, it's also important to close these games out early and with loads of intensity and a scoreline that is as big as possible.
Yeah, Swiss draw is dangerous because even if you're winning your games, if you're not winning with enough points, you might end up in places you're not expecting.
Exactly.
So play every point as if it was universe point because you need every single score.
Now Séptima is going to try and do exactly that because they need every single one, and they need to get an offensive hold first before they can start breaking. But this one, in and out of the hands, touching it with a big layout, but it's always just a bit too far out in front. And that one perfectly to the body, but can't wrap her hands around it. And that's one of the arrows that will cost you important break points that are easy. La Séptima really working it through that Austrian zone look. Poachy look, rather. Don't seem flustered or troubled yet with all those smaller passes, and they're off to the races, knocking on the doorstep. And calmly moving it around to the other side of the pitch. And that disc, with all the calmness, just finds the ground. Séptima runs quickly and gets it to Schnedel. Meisel to Knieli. Back to Meisel. Beautiful round shot to Séptima. And that stack very static, really focusing on the handlers, and now getting something from Brečko.
And the stack is very static, but maybe even though you're working on your handlers, you should still give options to the handlers if all of a sudden they feel like a little over the shoulder, you know, or Scooby. It could be always possible, so it's good to keep moving a little bit. Just also that when the swing arrives from the handling side, you are already ready to get rid of your defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Séptima with the disc now, and it puts it into the end zone for Scala, who really got that one-on-one battle down. Scala, of course, a player on Jinx in Berlin, moved there 2 years ago and is now one of their most important players on the O-line. Well, not one of the most important, but definitely on the top 7 for Jinx. And there is a timeout called by La Séptima, and I think that is a very good call.
It is. Need to get back in their game.
They do, and I think that is their second timeout of the game. And as we are watching some highlights, we are also taking a quick break, and we will be back with you in a few minutes.
Here we are back after this timeout, hoping that it was useful for La Séptima. Wondering what they said in this circle, but for sure trying to fire up and get the focus in the team.
If you were the coach of La Séptima, what would you tell them to do?
It's hard to say like this because I don't know the team. I don't know what spirit they have and like what they need in such situation, because you can have teams that need like shouting and like firing up, getting mad. But other teams would be more like, okay, take a deep breath. Now keep focus, know what you're doing, stay steady, and so you never know. But apparently not this. That's for sure not what you need. And I'd say, of what we've seen from Colombia, you'd rather try to calm down the players and keep their head focused on what's important, get easy passes done, not losing the disc.
Not losing the disc. Should be something Austria will try. And that's the second time we see Zenz and Pashinga not quite connect on one of those resets. That throw too zippy and just out the side. Not even giving the receiver a chance. Fernandez with a good swing around, putting it in the middle now. Lopez.
Ooh, so
Close. Zen's trying to redeem her earlier error. And just about gets it. High release into space, but
very close defense. Apparently there was even a foul call on this. Maybe on the throw?
foul on the throw.
Too bad, because that was a nice defense. Nice defense in the end zone.
Yeah, Kramer with the defense.
Ooh, player down.
And this time around, let's Séptima get it.
I was not sure it was a score because no one seemed to be happy. Like they just scored and Phil was silent.
Yeah, it would probably help them to be a bit more energetic, maybe.
Maybe that is exactly what's missing to the team. They are actually not fired up and not that happy about what's happening, that even if they score, they're not so convinced of it. And I mean, it is good in a way. You have to celebrate your scores, but at the same time, you have to not forget that the job is not done and you have to fight, because this is only the start. They have 2 points on their scoreboard, while Austria is already at 4. These are 2 breaks in advance, 5. My scoreboard is not updated. Excuse me, pardon. But 5-2. So La Séptima need breaks. So for this, more energy, more fighting spirit. And let's show you didn't make the whole travel for nothing. You gotta kick some European asses here.
Yeah, show what you got. Representing
Show me
Katja
what you
Ninaus showing off her speed. Rottensteiner very open. No one anywhere near her. Now finally a mark arrives. Sedina to Rottensteiner, and she keeps that disc in her hands. Fancy work. Ninaus looks for an option, puts it up into space. No one running. Miscommunication on the Austrian side, gives the disc to La Séptima, and Ninaus doesn't catch the disc. It could have been a Callahan, but she doesn't.
It was in her hands. No, no, you don't get this opportunity so many times in your life.
Swaggy, swaggy, swaggy.
Oh my!
You could have gotten rid of that nickname.
Oh.
Rottensteiner now putting it into her hands, and at least she gets that goal. Could have been easier, way easier, but a goal is a goal. And she gets the stats for it. That's really good.
What sadness, missing a Callahan opportunity on a live stream. But at least the score was secured and they did score their offense. That was offense point, yeah, offensive point. So at least the job is done, but it could have been done with a Callahan. That is something you want to add to your checklist.
Absolutely.
Windmill, Callahan.
The thing is, with those long games, and we said that before, every single one of those games has to be as hard fought as possible because every single point counts. And then having to play those extra 40 to 50 seconds that it took here to score, it doesn't seem like much. It's not much at all, but at the end of a tournament, at the end of a day of 4 games, it'll feel like every 30 seconds that you could have spared earlier does make a difference. I'm going to shade her a little bit on that because she could have gotten it, but nonetheless, she redeemed herself and definitely a player to watch. Coming out of Austria is swaggy, Katharina Ninaus.
Yeah, but it's...
La Séptima back on offense, trying to keep the scoreline as close together as possible.
Oh, trap situation, hard to get out of here, but that was a give and dish, not a thrown one.
So it looked like a handover.
Handover, that's the word.
2 people still with the disc and one grabbing it from the other. And I do believe it is a turnover because you're not allowed to do it, but I don't know.
Apparently they seem to be calling like there was contact pushing her and then moving her towards the disc, maybe initiating that hand-to-hand pass.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can always argue that the other team...
I'm trying to interpret
body
language.
I get it. It's not against you. Of course, you're absolutely right. This is what I also got. It seems a bit... the whole situation, I didn't see it 100%, but what I saw seemed a bit weird.
I mean, it's not every day you see a hand-to-hand like that.
Handover like that? No, no.
So a lot of discussion here on display. I mean, as we were saying, it's unusual, but still, rules are rules. When there's a call, you have to talk it out quickly.
One of the most beautiful things about this sport, you can actually talk to your opponent, talk it out, find the right thing to do. And if not, just send it back.
Exactly.
Score comes in on 6. And La Séptima get it off that sideline. Some discussion, and I don't see hand signals, so I don't know what it's about, but another stoppage.
This is also a tactic. If you don't have timeouts anymore, just call.
Call
calls. You get to
that
talk.
Is that spirited? I don't know about that.
Absolutely not. And I don't think this is their tactic. It's just
no.
making fun, but around just too far.
The thing is, with those situations, if you stop, it either gives you a time to breathe or it stops your flow. And especially with a team like La Séptima that works very well off a flow, it's not beneficial for them to always stop their play again and again. As Hübel is on the far side with the disc in her hands. Looks for Meisel, Overschutzmeister, but Brandl is there to collect it. Hübel again puts it up high and
discussion. Who got it first? It looked to me that Hoffman had a hand on the disc first.
I didn't really see it.
Let's see the replay.
Oh, it seems very close.
If it is very close, then offense gets it.
Yeah, if it's simultaneous so people can agree, offense gets it.
Oh, but that was defense then. Okay.
La Séptima will get the disc. Nice high release work from their side. And
again, COL on the field. Is it again a pick? So there must be something in their stack, in their way of cutting, or in the defense that is messing up, because that's a lot of picks on 1 point. Again,
Another pick. It seems like,
I think the Austrians are trying to explain the situation.
yeah,
That their way of playing is cutting through each other, and that always will generate picks.
yeah, that's
And
stack structure, another pick. And that is a turnover because the disc was not caught.
that's always unfortunate, this situation, when there's a turn on a pick. It always feels a bit weird. These are the rules and make sense, but still feels not unfair, but not beautiful.
It's not easy to do that, and Kansmeier overestimates the disc here and gets it right back to La Séptima. Not a very clean showing of either side now, and that disc again.
I was about to say, let's see how Séptima is going to get out of the trap situation, because so far in the game, they've been struggling a lot with this trap situation. Either they were keeping playing on the upline side and forcing passes upline, which is not the easiest, or missing all the arounds. So
That disc goes
Let's
up,
see.
floats, and two defenders underneath it. Not a very thought through.
Séptima covering well the deep shots, making them hard. They're making some mistakes, but really avoiding deep scores straight away, making the job also difficult for Austrians. Again, trap situation. Looking nice centering.
And that disc caught by Wilfing and puts it up into space early for Hübel, and she gets it on the second effort. Way to keep your body composed and looking at that disc bundle. All alone, gets help from Schnedel. Into Scala. And she shoots
Laser.
and overshoots.
She shoots a laser. So excited to get the score. To get it done with the point here. We're still
Yeah.
at 2-6. Again, long point.
Yeah, they're really battling it out here.
We have 4 turnovers on each side.
Of course, our field clock is going down. So we have 30 minutes, 32 minutes actually, left of game time.
Oh, wow. Half of the game and only 8 points scored.
Not very typical, but as wind is picking up, it does make sense for both teams to having to adjust to the conditions. Another stoppage occurred.
A lot of contacts on this game.
Yeah, a lot of
Wondering how teams are dealing with that.
yeah, I hope they can figure it out and keep their energy focused on what's important here, playing the Frisbee. Nice grab up the line, and now she's trapped in the coffin corner.
Yeah.
Travel call.
I was about to say, I saw some weird steps from both feet there.
I didn't watch the feet closely, but
A little bit of dancing, you know.
we love to dance at Windmill.
Oh, and I'm sure Colombians might show some nice moves on the dance floor.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh, sneaky little pass for the score. Finally, after many turnovers, La Séptima managed to score 3-6. Actually, they are 3 points behind, but on the field, it's not that clear. I mean, every point are a lot of turnovers, a lot of defenses, pressure. It's not easy points.
So I think La Séptima is doing the same thing pretty much, and depending on what line is on for the Austrians, it either works really well or it doesn't work as well. So I'm wondering if they're still, you know, trying to do different variations of players, trying to see what fits, who fits together. And especially with a team like Séptima, they're really putting their bodies on the line, and they're doing these quick even goes, so you can see what types of players can adjust to that quicker, and who still needs a little bit of recognition of what they're doing right now.
That's exactly what Windmill is here for. Preparation and get your team as ready as possible for EUC.
A zone, and Hoflacher puts up a beautiful shot to Roy, and Roy is diming it to Ninaus, and what a perfect shot.
That was so beautiful. I thought I was overthrown.
Me too, I thought it was a little zippy, but it was just perfection.
It just kept floating. Just what needed for the player to get to the disc in the end zone. Wow. Love it.
Wow.
What beautiful use of the wind. Perfectly adjusting. We want more throws like that.
Yeah, we do. Got to shout out Roy. She's a player of Mosquitoes Mixed, who famously have beaten Gut.
They did. Elite Invite.
Elite Invite. They beat Gut, the European champions. So, is she a European champion? Now that she beat the reigning champs? Is that how it works? I heard that's how it works.
You wish.
I do wish, actually.
We will have so many European champions.
So many? Really? Who else?
I mean, in all categories, every team that beat at least once the European champions, we would have so many European champions. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not quite convinced. Maybe it's just something special if you're kind of the underdog team and adult division instead of playing under 24s. Although both of them still would be eligible. And that disc goes back to Austria on a missed throw, and Kramer gets it, but a pick is called.
Oh, fun. The pick is on the other side this time.
Yeah, it's a pick. Initiated by Austria, apparently. The disc stays with Kramer because it doesn't really affect anything, and Zenz with the up-the-line shot looks for an option and finds Pashinger for the score, this time with the ballerina turn. And that is half for the Austrians.
Here we are half after, how much time left? 27 minutes. After almost 50 minutes of game, here we are at half.
Yeah, and we are gonna take a little break here. Wait for half time. And we'll be back with you just after a few messages from our sponsors.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTI.net.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Here we are on the second half of this game. La Séptima facing Austria women. Austria leading the game 8-3. Starting now on defense. La Séptima trying to get their momentum, their mojo, trying to focus and give us a show. As we know, they have a beautiful ultimate play, like passing the disc quickly, moving it everywhere. And we love to see that, and we would love to see more of this. So, La Séptima, focus and give us some show. Christina joining us.
Having a little chat to the Austrian coach, who isn't entirely happy.
Ooh, we got like fun.
I got some fun facts about this game.
Give us gossip, please, Christina.
He asked if it's a fun mess to watch, and I was like, it's more of a messy mess to watch here. But it might just be that Colombians are that kind of messy with their games, especially if you're not used to playing that style. And they're, of course, adding some European talent to their roster that still have to adjust to the speed.
I'm really eager to see how they're gonna play against the zone.
Yeah, they've pulled it out once before and haven't managed to stop them that well. But that zone designed to have many bigger passes instead of some smaller ones.
Yeah. But this is very dangerous zone to throw these floaty passes, because you're in your end zone. That's Callahan country. You don't want this. But Séptima doing a good job.
Yeah, they're very calm and moving it in the handlers, not really connecting or even looking at anyone downfield. They're static in the back and really looking at their handlers.
I mean, there's not that much wind, so actually deeper shots would be an option. So downfield players should keep working.
Yeah, not with a defensive prowess like Scala in the deep space. Taking a chance on that, I wouldn't advise you to do that. Now they're off to the races, give and go, working out for them. Push pass, I love that.
It's very beautiful to see. Séptima seems to be much more focused playing against the zone than when they're playing person. As I'm saying this,
commentators curse, Charlotte. Who's
never getting used to that.
Nah. Well, they pay us for saying stuff, so they have to go with the bad stuff as well as the good things we're calling. Hoflacher putting it into Würfing, and that is a score from Meisel, the permanent Yaka player, also a European champion. She won her European championship with Yaka. Currently
European champions?
They were a year ago.
ECF?
Not in 21.
Oh, 21.
The current champions, of course, shout. Not talking about that, I'm just saying.
Yes, they
She
did.
has a European championship star on her belt. So Austria with a break, starting that second half to go up 9-3. That zone worked out so well for them.
I mean, so well. They did. They still had like 20 passes, the Séptima, before turning it
true, but they never managed to get it to the
Pass,
halfway line even. They really closed them off in that early space, and you said there is a bit of wind. You might have to test it, but it's yeah, I don't know. I think just what the zone wants to achieve is not getting you down the deep space, and that's what they did really well.
And you want to practice everything as you're leading a game. I mean, you want to score always because, as we were saying, we're in a Swiss draw and every point counts. But it's a preparation tournament. Oh my! And you need to practice all your defenses. And as we were talking, an unfortunate big drop.
Yeah, Paschinger to Bodensteiner, who gets it with one hand.
Very confident.
Yeah, she is.
Ooh.
Maybe an overconfident shot here, but Neely doing very well to ream it up and putting it into space for Kramer, who just has to jump in time and mistimes it.
Too much time to think, overthinking.
Excuses her error.
Sometimes it gets even harder to catch your disc when you're too free and have too much time to think rather than fighting against the defense. But I don't know what's happening with Séptima, but throwing another one to the ground.
Yeah, that wind seemed to impact Séptima more than it does the Austrians. Paschinger, Franz Bodensteiner.
I mean, downwind.
So big put this time around. Kramer times the jump perfectly with two hands.
I'm so ready for new mistakes. No, I've been looking for love instead, for someone I appreciate, and everything crossed my way. I love that I don't know your name. Oh no, I never meant to misbehave. Something about you makes me crave. You really are a different taste. I love that I don't know your name. I know you have questions, I don't have answers, clearly no manners, baby. I know you want it better, putting on the pressure, 'cause pressure's gonna get the very best of me. I give a little something, doesn't come for free. Oh, I know you have questions, baby. Even if I try and try too hard, nothing's ever enough. Even if I try and try too hard.
So we are very sorry for all of the technical difficulties we had in Power Out, but we are back live. 11-3. Well, actually. In the favor of Austria, the Austrian coach showed me something very funny. This last point, the way they scored was only going back and forth. They were only allowed to go back. Only allowed to go back. That sounds like a game in the right direction. Everyone goes back to well, it is practice. You're practicing to be ready to get with you. Instead of such as with your round shots, which is obviously going to feel like a very different style. And then if you're trapped on the other side, you're not allowed to do a round shot. It's something back entirely. So going upwind, you can only throw backhand. That's Austria's call for this game. And Alex coach in the Austrians is very happy about this. He loves it.
My personal thought on this.
You can go a lefty backhand, I bet that works.
That's my point. I would be much better with the sidearm against the wing than the backhand, especially the lefty backhand.
I know. Don't worry about it. I think it's a bit of a fun thing.
That would be good practice.
Everything that is the practice, especially, and I don't want to sound obnoxious or anything, but with a scoreline that big,
throw just behind the player who had the second chance and made the catch right in front of the end zone. That's Séptima. And for the score, 23-42.
So the first score of the second half for La Séptima. They finally shown up again after we are back with energy, power. They've managed to climb that energy ladder a little bit.
To come back with energy and power as well.
5 more minutes, that's what the call was around the pitches. 5 more minutes of game time.
Only 5 minutes left and a lot of points for La Séptima to catch up. I mean, we don't have cap here at the end of the game. So
no, we don't. It's just a finish. It's just over.
I doubt that La Séptima will score 8 points in 5 minutes.
No, not the way the Austrians have played so far. But they can try and come closer and closer and figure out, finish the game with a good feeling on their side. Not necessarily win, but like scratch out what you've done so far and just end this on good terms and happy feelings.
Yes, and also secure yourself the best position possible with these scores as we were talking for the Swiss draw. You need all of these points.
So, Séptima walking the disc to the brick mark after picking it up. Signaling the brick after picking it up rather. Hoflacher looks for an option, finds Séptima, and she decides not to go with that backhand.
But a good power position.
Oh, and that, how did Hoflacher get that? That is such a good move on her part.
And managed to keep the disc in bounds, because with the contact she was a bit pushed out. That would have been a call, but no need for her. She kept it in.
Winter Tuzio looking for an option. Gets it back to Hoflacher, who lays out to keep that disc. And with a beautiful flick shot goes.
That was a slow-mo layout. I don't know how she managed to do that, but fun to see.
Really gracious, Hoflacher as a person and as a player, as Winter Artuzio gets it in for the score. 13-4 in favor of Austria. We're quickly approaching the business end of this game. And as we said, just nothing really they can do, because scoring 9 points in less than 5 minutes is not possible, but trying to keep up with them is the only thing they can do now, and I think La Séptima really want to do that.
You still want to have fun, enjoy, do the best you can, and what better to enjoy a game than scoring?
True.
Defending and scoring, that's the best.
That's the best, because that's a break. you know. Defending then scoring, that's a break, and that feels so much better. Always. Just personal opinion, of course. Meisel with a big pull for Austria. Bodensteiner nearly running through that, but Low with hands on that disc, inside shot to Jesus. She's looking for an option, goes around, over the top. It's hanging for ages, but collected, and now a high grab. Many bodies underneath it. Bodensteiner.
A lot of people.
Huber and two offensive players.
Séptima seem to really like these high throws. Even for the rounds, they keep throwing high throws, which are very risky. And as we see here, beautiful shot over the stack, but opponents were not so far. So floaty disc, they have the time to catch up, and we know, we've seen Austrian girls running so fast. So, you know, they're going to be there. They're not going to let a floaty pass get out of their hands.
Absolutely. And this is the jingle for time is over. You can see it on the screen as well. We have a few seconds left in regular time, and the discussion will bring the disc back to the thrower. I believe that's what they're discussing, a foul on the mark, and it seems to be a longer discussion of a contested foul. The disc goes back. Is the result of this.
Séptima back in possession of the disc for this last offense. Martin Hernandez.
Martin is called on that travel. She did travel quite far with the disc in hand and puts it over the top just in front of the end zone. Now they're knocking on the doorstep. This might be not quite the end of it.
It is a score, at least for La Séptima. And this is end of the game.
It is. It seems like the time is finished. A point is scored, and this now means a win for Austria. The Austrian women's team getting the better of La Séptima. 13-5 is the final score. Thank you very much for sticking with us even after those minor technical difficulties. We hope you enjoyed that game, and don't go anywhere because there's so much live coverage of Windmill left for you to watch and for us to give to you. Thank you for joining me. I've been Christina Obermeyer, joined by Charlotte Rasson, and we will see you in a few minutes.
Thank you. Thanks.